Hi, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome to Auntie D TV. Happy to be here another time. Happy to be here. How are you guys doing? Wherever you are at this time watching me or in the hearing of my voice, I hope you're all doing very well. Okay, let me pray. Heavenly Father, Lord, as I'm about to start the live, Jesus, be with everybody who comes. Let's have a productive life. I'll have a discussion where we can learn. Let us anything that would come and cause us to become demotivated or unhappy. Be in the midst of everything we do and see. Not just your peace and your blessing in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Hi, David. How are you? Nice to see you on this channel. Okay, but when I was happy to see you too, but you ran away so quickly. You didn't even help in the discussion or trying to get people to talk, and you ran away. You don't run away, we can't get to share. We had a nice discussion, but I realized you had left. But you always disappear. Huh? Well, you're not staying. You're not even gonna give a little word. You only say hello and then you're, well, I know you have things to do too. But I'm still happy to see you. Yeah, I'm happy to see you too. I was going to come on a little earlier. I had planned to, but I remember I had an appointment at 7 to 10. Not to 10, 7 to 8. And I'm going to have it for it's a 1 week thing. So I have to try and give my support. Yeah. Hi, Lucia Strada. Thank you, Lucia Strada. How are you doing? Welcome to the live. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Happy to see you. When I come on this channel, people always come on more. I don't know if because it's monetized or what, but the other one, they take long and then they go away quickly. No matter how I have added some games afterwards, after I finished the talking, and there were not many. But I'm appreciative. Hi, Esther Cabalga. These people sound like they're from some Spanish places. How are you doing, guys? I'm happy to see you. As you see, my topic is what would you have done? I'm getting right into it because I know somebody will not stay long, so I'm not going to wait on anybody. My topic this evening is what would you have done differently if you were younger? Whatever your age is, if you're in 5 year old, what would you have done differently if you were younger? Just think about it. Don't have to rush. And like up the live. Oh, see, I have three. Come on, guys. 11 persons up there. Give the live a like, man. So the algorithm can go. Because we discuss good topics, But persons are sometimes shy to respond. Should I eat some ice cream? Whoa, I forget about it. Because I'm hurrying to come here now. Hmm. Oh. Can somebody eat ice cream time in school? Sometimes I like ice cream is good. I never remember it. Maybe I should make a cup of chocolate. That's what I think I'm gonna do. Yeah. What would you have done? David says, I like that, David. You're David startup. That's why I like you sometimes. When you have to run your own, I would do things differently when I was younger because I get to know people. Okay, so you get people now. So what would you do to people? Hi, Ariane says, hi, Auntie. Sorry, Auntie. I'm happy to help you, Ariane. We just come on about not just 4.5 minutes, a little less than 5 minutes. What would you have done differently, Ariane? Whether whatever your age is, but if you were still younger. David is saying that you get to know people. So that means that he wouldn't be so shy. Is that what you mean to say, David? You would not be so shy. You get to meet more people. You would be, if other than that, you would be in your house, not coming out, not going anywhere, not shaming anybody. And when a person stay in the house all the while, they become so shy. Hi, James. How are you doing? James, say hi again. It can't be too much, James. Appreciate your hellos. Happy to see you, James. What would you have done if you were younger? I'm not looking at age because for me, age is a number. Well, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. The day was not so very cold, but it was very misty. Mist. A lot of misty. Mist was all over, very strong. And in the evening, it got very windy. But other than that, it was great. It was a great day. Skylas, how are you doing, Skylas? Yeah. So what would you guys have done if you were younger? What would you do? Hi, Jaden. If you were younger? God bless you too, Ariane. Um, what would you do if you were younger? Would you still want to go to school? Would you want to learn to cook? Would you want to learn to drive a car? Good night, Tetla. Good night. Happy to see you. What would you like to do? Would you have wanted to get your license earlier? Would you have wanted to get married earlier? Have children? Yeah, what would you like to do if you were younger? For me, if I was younger, not that I'm old neither, but I have to look. If I was younger, then I say, yeah, driving a car. Yeah, that's true. And David says, sorry, I left. I had to take the water in and then. All right, David, I understand. Okay, so yeah, I would love because when I got my license to drive, it was okay. But if I was going to be younger, I would want to start driving from about 15, 16 years old. I would want to wait until when I become an adult to drive. I would want to have my own car. I would love to have my own house. What you say, Ariane? If I would younger, take my glasses because now my eyes is. Oh, can you imagine? That's what I did in early times. The eyes broken. The thing is, I used to read a lot of books. It's not like now where you have the phone, you can play the books. Hi George, you can play the whatever book you want on your phone. You want to be in a video, even like no, it's a video. Right. Yeah, in a video, right? And we were not able to tape ourselves. We weren't able to see ourselves. We could only go and listen to the radio, or we go and play the television and watch the cables, right? It's a challenge. It's a challenge. Yeah. So challenge in the sense that if we can't do more than our time, when we were younger then, our parents had to struggle. Some of them have to do several jobs, you know, and we were left at daycare centers, or somebody has to overlook us while our parents go to work. Understand? So I think, thank you for the hearts, guys. And like the live, guys, give the live a thumbs up. Wow. As you come in, give the live a thumbs up. So when we look at it, there are many things that we could do, but would we? The main thing that you would need to have if you were younger is money. Once you have money, then anything is possible. Thank you for the hearts, guys. Anything is possible once you have money, right? Anything is possible, right? So, but maybe in early times, money was not so popular among people. You have to work hard, and the little that you get, you know, you you use it to be satisfied. And even at Christmas time, the toys that you get if you were younger and you have the money, you'd buy some better toys because your parents try to give you some little toys. Some little toys. They or to blow, and they give you some little trucks to drive in. Whereas you now would buy a bigger thing, bigger truck. You understand? You can sit in properly. They give you a little truck that you have to push with your hand. And you and dribble around. So there are many things. And you know what would be nice too? If you were younger, you wouldn't have to take your time to walk. You would jump up. Yes, that's a fee. Yeah, fee was a regular thing for Christmas for children. They give you a blow and bet nice all over the place because that's what the parents could afford. David says, I'm back from taking in the water from outside because we got 13 items. Um, all right, David, you're taking the tea from Target. Sorry, I left. Okay. You have to help to do what you have to do, which is good, right? Mm-hmm. I see. We are still on. That's the topic I'm going to use tonight. Mm-hmm. The topic I'm going to use tonight about what could we do? What would we do if we were younger? Some people would, I believe, would start business, open a big supermarket or a big store like Walmart, those big places. They would do it earlier, so when they are older now, they wouldn't have to work hard. They just take it easy and rest and allow other persons to manage a business. Or if you were younger, what would you do? You would probably take a cruise. So because you're doing it when you're younger, you try to do things quick, because when you're older, you don't want to go anywhere. You realize older people don't want to go anywhere? Yes, I get it, David. Yes, you know. And some people meet, like David said, he gets to meet more people. So therefore, if he was a shy person or so, or afraid to talk to people, by meeting more persons, see he went out to Target and whatever, and he get to see people. I've never been into a Target store. I'll go there one day, and and that will make him feel relaxed. I like to go shopping too, Yes, going shopping is very nice. Even if you don't buy much, it releases you into the environment of feeling free. When you're shopping, you don't remember that you have a situation to deal with at hand. You're comfortable in your brain. It releases all stress. hmm So I said tonight we could touch a little on that, spend a little time on it. So you see, I come on good time. The thing I finish at 8 and I reach over here before 5 past 8. Because say I need to come early because I may fall asleep and I don't want to fall asleep. I don't want to. I should have made my hot chocolate before coming on, but I didn't want to come on too late. So I said, let me just come on and just get it over with. It is still early time. 8 minutes, 18 past 8. And I'm not going past us. I'm just spending a little time. Yes, man. If we were younger, there are many things that we could change. We'll change our age so that the age doesn't grow and get big. We stay down at the bottom. Some people would take off weight, they would not be so fat. They would not just be eating. You know, they would watch the diet and become more cautious. But some people, when they were young, they just eat, and they get big and big. And when they're older now, they have problems, different health conditions setting, and they become miserable. hmm They were just eating and don't be. And I would think that if I was going to be younger, I would love to be doing more exercise, because when you reach a certain stage, people hardly want to even walk. You don't see many people walking. And even when they have the equipments in their home, they hardly use them. But they have them there in the event of them wanting to use them. But they say once they hardly use them, remember that it's there. But I like to walk outside, but it's cold now. Now it's not the weather to walk. Now it's not the weather to walk. So, but it's nice when you walk outside, like in the summer months, get all the atmospheric breeze and everything into your body. Hi, Nicole Stevenson. Hi, Nicole, how are you doing? Welcome to the live. Thank you for coming. Nicole, happy to see you, and I hope you spend some time with us. Tell us, Nicole, what would you have loved to do if you were younger? Whatever your age is, we don't worry about it. Just if you were younger. So if you were 10, if you're a 10-year-old now, what would you have done if you were 5 or 6 or 7? So we're not looking at any number, right? What would you have done? What would you do? You start a garden, you'd want to put a lot of money in the bank, Would you want to build a house? Would you want to have a family? Would you want whatever? Would you want to go to college sooner? Or you want to finish high school? Or, what would you want to do? What would you do? Or you just eat and sleep and just get fat and be happy? Everybody have their own desires. Everybody have their own desires. And nobody can condemn anybody for their desires that they have. Nobody can condemn anybody. You have to just take it as it is. Mm. What you say, Tets? What you say, Tets? I don't want you to fall asleep around here. What you say? I want to hear from everybody, man. Give us a little input so the algorithm can show that we are really interacting. I don't want us to look as if we are not interacting at all. But we're not going to be here long enough, guys. We're not going to be here not long at all. Liam. Liam. Is this the Liam that I am accustomed to, or is it a different one? Liam? Oh, you're there listening? Okay. Look, I don't want you to run away and leave me. Because, yeah, he's in my group. I don't go to the other place yet. Oh, it's a different one. Okay, I suspected there was one that normally comes here, but I have not seen him in a while. I remember the last time he came, he was not well. I remember that distinctly. But I don't know if he's still on. So how are you doing, Liam? Or Liam? It's a different one for true because I never have any underscore in his name. How are you doing? What would you have done? We are looking at the topic. What would you have done if you were younger? I'm good, Liam. I'm fine. Had a very good day today. And I said, I'm coming on now to meet up with my friends. And you come on. I'm happy. Happy to see you too. So we are looking at the topic. What would you have done if you were younger? And it just about, you don't necessarily have to be real, but what would you have done? Would you have wanted to get your license earlier? Have your own pretty car, your Porsche? Or buy a big mansion, a big house with full of pretty furniture? Or buy a hotel or something? But, we're looking at those things that people don't have now, but they could have done more if they were younger. So maybe somebody said they would go to college earlier, get their degree earlier, and maybe somebody said they would not be eating too much to get too fat. But because they were just eating, they got out of control. And then now they have to be working to cut it off now, to reduce the weight. So what would you do, Liam? What would you like to do? The life would be great with the degree. Not true. Not true. It would be great. Yeah, man, it would be great with the degree. Could I have the drive, the vehicle? At least you have a vehicle and you qualify education-wise. So you'll be ready now to go and work and buy a pretty house on the hill, a pretty mansion. And then by the time you start getting old, you finish paying the bank for it. So you just be enjoying life. So you take your retirement early and you would go and cruise around the world. Just go and take your vacation and take your cruise. And then you would have to work until you reach retirement at 67. You'd have just had enough money and then you just work for yourself. That's what most people do in their early days, Those who come from rich families, they always stay in business and everybody in the business. Right. So they don't go out and work. They put all their energy and money and everything into the business. So everybody contributes. It would be nice, but those things can only happen when you are from a wealthy family. Because when you're younger, you have to be studying so hard. When you're younger, you're in high school or college, you have to be studying really, really hard. Hi, Alden, how are you doing? Happy to see you. Thank you for stopping by. You know, I had a very light dinner because I'm trying to reduce too. And I'm feeling like I'm hungry. So after the live, I'm going to make a cup of tea. Hmm. Yes, man. Alden, how are you doing? How are you? For some reason, sometimes I say the name Alden and like I know the person. Sometimes some names come up very often, and you think you know the person. Aldane or Aldine. I would say Aldane. How are you, Aldane? Hope everything is okay. What would you have done, Aldane, if you were younger? Would you have gotten married, have a big family, have a lot of children, go to, or would marry none at all? What would you do? It's nice to talk about these things. If you were younger, you'd make sure you go to school because now you need your papers to show that you finished studying at school and you don't have every subject. What would you do? Come on, guys, give me a little. Let us have a little rapport here. I know people soon. It's soon to be the first half an hour, and like I say, we're not going to be here too late. What would you do? What would you do, Tetla? Liam, I don't know if you run off already. But some people don't like when I ask them many questions. What I realize, if you want people to run off for their life, ask questions just for them to interact. It's just interaction, guys. Nothing for you to be afraid of. Just interaction. They run away. They run away. They just take the back door and slide out and leave Auntie D alone looking. Hmm? Come on, man. Don't make it look so bad. It's not anything hard we're talking about. Not talking about anything hard. We just really look at situations in life. And like I said, I remember this. I remember so many things sometimes. I have to be so careful when I say them because I don't want, in case anybody come on the live or they hear this, I'm speaking about it. But there are times some persons become great doctors and great lawyers, great engineers, in great positions, but they didn't have it when they were younger. They struggled real hard. Going to school, they struggled. They don't have anything. When other children are eating patty and cocoa bread and nice juice, they have to go to the kitchen or the canteen to get little scrapings into a little plastic dish. And those children, I'm telling you, they have done so well because although they were brilliant, they didn't have it that much. So the parents couldn't fund their way to school. So they have to go to the canteen and get the scrapings. And they ate it, although sometimes they're a little embarrassed, but they do. And then today, they're in big positions. And sometimes when they talk about it, you say that's not true. But some people go through real struggles. Real struggles. Real struggles are there. So nobody should be afraid or ashamed. You know? Somebody may say, if I were young, what I would do differently, I would listen to my parents more. Maybe your parents want you to be more independent, study, do certain things in the house, learn to put your clothes in the laundry to get it clean and those little things. But because you were not interested, you didn't pay any attention. And after your parents pass on to another life and gone, you're alone now. Maybe you have a family, and then your wife sees that or your husband says that you don't know how to make the bed, you don't know how to even lotion your skin properly. And when they talk about it, you become offended. Hmm. Those are things we wish we could do differently if we were younger. Learn to listen when our parents speak. You understand? It's not anything bad. There's so many good things that one would want to do if they were younger. But because they're older now, they passed that stage. So it's not easy for them to go back. You know, they pass the stage, so they have to just look ahead. Right, Alden? Alden really give a point, Alden only always chip in and say hi. And then I don't know when Alden disappear. And then quietly take it the back door and slide away. Come on, Alden, man. You're the last person, and I think you're the first one to run. Give us say something. What? It doesn't have to be a lot. It's a little statement. Like Teta say, the lights won't be great with the degree. What would you have done differently? You will learn to go and catch fish in the sea. Learn to do fishing. Maybe you realize you have to call the plumber too often to fix the pipes. So you'd probably say, if I was younger, see, I would learn to be a plumber. Those are things. Mm-hmm. Those are things, man. There are many things that we would have done differently if we were younger. Some people would save more because things were cheap then, but they didn't have the money neither. You understand me? Some would go to church more. Some would go to school more. Because when some children are young, in their young age, everyone regret about, yes, everybody regret about something. Something has to be. You have some children when they were young going to school. I don't have children hiding from school now, but you still have some children who the parents send them to school and then gone a mango bush, then gone to cane bush. Them don't come at school at all. They come and yet they present themselves at school when they know it's lunchtime or when it's time to go home. But they don't come in the class and they're outside someplace and waiting on their friends. Hi, Kamala. Kamalia. Hi, Kamala. Kamala don't want to spoil the name, so I'm just going to say Kamala. Kamala Leah Lynn. Hi, Kamala. How are you doing? Welcome to the live. Happy to see you. And thank you for stopping by. And my topic tonight is, what would you have done differently if you were younger? What would you have done differently? Is there anything in life? As I was saying, some persons hide from school and the teacher is trying to get them, and when the teacher get them, she brush them up. And when they go home again, the parents brush them up and they never hide from school again. But no problem. And then you have some now. They doing business. Hi JB, how you doing? Lord G, I remember you. Whoa, thank you so much. We are about to go into the second half hour. I know me wrap up after the second half hour. Happy to see you. My topic, Kamala, and to JB is, what would you have done? JB, you just come here, you want a little breezer. Let me just saying it again. What would you have done differently if you were younger? So we're not looking at the age number to say, okay, if I was 5 or 10, whatever the age is, we're just looking at if you were younger. What would you have done differently? Kamala, I want to hear you too, What would you have done differently? Like I said, but come to finish up what I was saying, Tedla is saying good night to JB. Some people I know, in early times, in my time of going to school, they were mainly boys. I say Tedla to the or many boys. Kamala say, I am Kurdish lady. Kurdish lady from Turkey. Okay, that is why I couldn't say it properly. I'm really sorry. Happy to have you. Thank you for stopping by. I was trying to say the name, but I realized I was creating damage, so I stopped. Okay, please. So you find that boys were the ones who mainly hide. Girls don't really hide from school that much. I don't know for now, but the boys would hide, and they have their friends that they hide, especially if it's mango time. They don't come, they hide. And if they know they are going to get a test or anything like that, they hide, right? So when they get older now and they need to get married and have their family, they get very hard with their children now, because they kept saying, when I was your age, I wasn't going to school, and here I am now, I can't hardly read. So because they were hiding from school, they didn't get the education that their parents were sending to school for. So they end up now become less educated. So they tend to now watch their children and try to put in them. JB said, good to know you are okay. Thank the Most High for that. Yes. Yes, JB. And they don't want their children to become like them. So they will say, I don't want you to become like me. I was hiding from school and now I can hardly sign my name. Right? And then, children may get upset. And sometimes then the parents then shake them up really, really hard to let them know it's important for them to get an education. So that's why I look at it to say that when you look back, it's always like a regret. When you hear somebody say, if I was going to be young again, the things that they would do, you could see that it's somewhat of sadness when they look back at some time that I don't want to say they have wasted, but some time have gone by. And they realize now at that stage of their life now, they can regain it again. Because remember, I always say, time waits on no one. Time waits on no one. Time just keep moving, so you have to move with the time. If you allow the time to move away from you, the time is gone and you're behind struggling. True, true. You know? So people always often tell themselves, if I was going to be young again, the things I would do. So when you're young and going through, try to do the things, okay? Don't know what you're going to need to do when you get older. And it's really sad when you see persons who have abilities, they just waste it. They waste their time. I know those things happen in the school system because the teachers will talk. All right, David. The teachers will say, oh, I have not been seeing John at school. What happened to him? When teacher sees John's mother. John's mother said, but I send him to school every day. John doesn't go to school. Mother sends him to school every day. Where is John? And sometimes they get into bad company and get messed up. And then they regret it. They always regret. Well, not everyone lives to regret, but things sometimes will take them away. Come on, I say, nice to meet you, Lady Auntie. I have to go. Seeing you. I take care. Happy to have you too. Although you didn't give me a response to my question, but I'm happy to have you. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by. Bye. Yes, JB. Man, the eyes them. The eyes them fighting a buckle. David says tomorrow school is ending early. It's from 8 to 3. Okay. So it's going to, so what time it normally ends? What is happening tomorrow? Anyway, I won't be coming on that time. I'll be coming on later in the at 3:30. Okay. So you get half an hour earlier to to be home. I hope it's not the weather going to be bad. I would not love that at all. So far today was not very, very cold. You could see a lot of snow melting and running. But it got windy in the afternoon. So I hope tomorrow will be a better day. Well, and that means you need to go to bed no, David. So you can be up early tomorrow. Anyway, so those are things we look at if we were younger. When I was younger, I used to have to get up out of bed before sunrise because when the sun rises, nobody's supposed to be in the bed because when the sun rises, it makes the house very warm, so you don't want to sleep. But here, it's cooler. You don't know when it's morning sometimes, right? You don't know when it's morning because when it's especially in the winter here, you just feel like you don't want to get up. You have to force yourself out. But for me, I don't think anybody should be in bed after 6:30. But it all depends on the person's schedule, what they have to do. Because everybody can be up at the same time. And there was no snow today. The place looks so nice and clean and pretty. The roads are nice. Yeah, man. But you have the snow at the side of the road. But it's melting really fast. Oh, baby, so that is why we are not to do nothing that we are going to. That is true. Hi, Carmen. Thank you. Yes, so, but sometimes in life, we don't know what. And then something, it can be something good, right? But suppose you're in a good job, but you didn't have the education that you had. You went to school, you get the education, and you're in a good job, but you're not any big, what would you say, no, engineer, or those big position, doctors and lawyers, but you're an ordinary, maybe ordinary farmer. Say an ordinary farmer. And you get the knowledge, you have such a huge farm. You employ so many people, you know. But at the same time, you're telling yourself that if I was younger, you see, man, like you have 10 acres now with fruits and all sort of things on it. And you say, if I was younger, I would have 100 acres. Means that you'd have been in the business a long time and getting the money and extend it yourself. Because sometimes, it's just that you don't have the capital to start. But sometimes some people have the head piece, and you have some people they don't get a chance to go to even say university, maybe just ordinary college. But they are so smart here that if you're not careful, they outsmart the one who is so trained. You could be a great fisherman with a huge boat. I have many boats that goes out to sea to catch fish. You understand? And supply places. They say, boy, if I was younger, the time I have 6 boats, I would have double how much money I could make in such time. Because the bottom line is how much you'll be able to make money. But you see, when it is sad, is when you waste your younger years, waste them. When they're wasted, tend to have regret. Boy, I wish I didn't do this or get into trouble and had to go to prison. So some things like that, and now you get kept back. So it's always wise and good to push, go with the time. Cause when the time, yes, street and be street smart. Because a lot of people them have the education here, so but them not street smart. Then people wind them up quick, wind them up, and then they look lost. Have you ever come across? I remember that many times back home. Persons are not able to read. JB said, but we always make mistakes because we don't know everything. If we didn't know exactly what is ahead of we would not make mistake because we don't. That is it. We don't know. So that's why when Tetna say regret, it brings regret for true. Most times it brings regret. Brings regret. And yeah, some people again, they have start having say family, let me say children, because sometimes they don't settle. And they realize, and as the other day, as read a man had 10 children and he was just in his 30s. I said, what? When I was reading it, 10. And it's not about 3 or 4 different ladies. He had 10 children with. So I said, seeing, and the man was in his about 38, I think. And I said, at that age, no. He took Ada and passed on, and they put it up that he leave behind 10 children. And I said, see, no, he left 10 children and he's gone. He became unalive, some illness he had. And those children, now, they are going to struggle because those women have to go and find a way to maintain those children. Whereas maybe if he had waited and never rushed so fast, maybe he wouldn't have so much. Even though he could have become unalive still. It was illness. But having left behind 10 children without a father, without a father to guide them, only God mercy with those mothers can help them, or if they have good stepfathers, can help them to go along. So I said to myself, but this man must look into himself and say, boy, why start so early? You have some people, them start from school age, and girls drop out of school, but the boys then get a chance to go back to school. People like them are educated, but don't have no... And he went to university, Yes, he was a university person, and he was, doing what he was doing, good business. But when I saw that, I said to myself, wow. I said, wow, educated person. But then, apparently, he was, and maybe then calling him and he was not guilty. Educated person, not street smart. So most of the times, you find that the guys, them, would get, going to end up in that lane with children because they get a chance to go further themselves. And sometimes these ladies, they don't really get a chance because they were already poor. So they go do little job around the place. The society come with those children, or sometimes become a problem. Although not all of them, not all of them. Some of them, they really come and shine bright lights, bright lights. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. how we could do things differently if we were younger. If we were younger. After I hear people say it all the way. Boy, if I was younger, see man, I tell you. Some of them have family issues. They build house and family place. So therefore every day, nagging, they become confused. It's too late now at that age, their age now to go, start over. Starting over is not easy, And you have some families, again, their relationship, when they were young, everything was nice and dandy. For some reason, when they become older, things start go different. People get miserable and confused, and one gone east, one gone west, children gone north and south. And then it's either them say, boy, if I was going to be younger, I would never marry that man. I would never marry that woman. Then you the children, boy, sorry I'm born into this family. No, me, people talk these things, I'm laughing, it's not a joke. Not a joke. Sorry I'm born into this family. Why couldn't I born in another family? So there's so many things that people look at to say that when they are younger, if they were younger, they would do some things differently. So maybe would sign paper, especially family land. Those sort of things, you see a lot of it coming out. The older parents saying that we're not making any will. They must can live good, who says so? And then when they are gone, dangerous things happening. Terrible things happening, Because people mind change. People think this way today, and tomorrow, different. Different. You wonder the same person who was so nice and good, everything loving and nice and everything, whether it's a brother, sister, cousin, uncle, aunt, right? Right? So there are so many things that people would do, right? So many things. But it's good when you can recognize, you know, I think it gives you a peace of mind. It gives you a peace of mind that, well, all is not lost. I still have some sanity. I still can do a little better, and I'm feeling a little better. But you see, when the regret part comes, the regret is a hard, hard blow. The regret sometimes send people to become unalive, you know, because it hurt them so badly. And sometimes the hurt is so hard that you can't even overlook it, you know. So it is, yes, family, they say family are the most dangerous people. Let me look at this here. Are the most dangerous people you can be around. Some families. Yes, some families are nice. Some families are nice. Some families are nice. And they just live together. They just, there's a bonding, but you have another set. They just, I don't know. They will stand up in some of them. JB, why you better do that for now? Me see it, you know. And what me say, you could make it stay, you know. Oh Lord. JB, you cut me down really bad, you know. JB, I saw it, you know, and I would not have removed it. I would have let it stay. But, you know, as I keep saying, I say when people go and do those things, just put a signal for me to know. Don't just do it because I saw it. I looked at it and I see it. Realized I didn't even comment on it because I looking for the what you call it? What are you talking about? Interaction. I saw it, and that's why I say, even though it sounds vulgar, but it doesn't do anything. If you know what I mean. You understand me? And that's why I say people going to put up something that me can see it before because I saw it, I looked at it, I see it, and I was about to say nobody already do so and so. But I just say, you know, because it's a big portion, you know. I'm not saying that it couldn't. It could have remained because they realized I didn't respond to the question that he asked because it's the interaction. Me not trying to clean up anything as me tell you, it's the interaction because it could have remained. It may sound funny, yes, but I did not respond. And that's why I kept saying that whatever people are going to do, let me verify me first so me can say yes. I may just do it same time. I may say go. I would say yes or no. I looked at it, I saw it, but I didn't comment. And he asked me a question, and I still didn't respond. Cause I was overlooking him. You understand me? Cause it's a big. Although it is repetition, it's a big. It's almost half of what it has gone through. Because see, I'm at 10 minutes to the time to cut out, and then now see, although it's repetition, it doesn't. It sounds vulgar, but it's repetition. You know, some of it could have remained. But you see, once you touch one, everything is going to go for that, whoever it is. You understand me? That's why sometimes I don't bother because sometimes there's one part of something you don't want to remove. But it's so set up. Once you remove a part, everything go. Cause it's a great point. Even if a person respond, just like how you do the rose, the flowers, so many times, you too regard it. You understand me? But it sounds a little vulgar, but it could have remained. I'm telling you truly. I understand. Understand, you know, I understand you. I understand. I saw it too. I understand because whatever he was saying, and he was asking me, what is my religion? I read it and I didn't respond. Hmm. Some things you have to just overlook it. Because if by the time I end the life now, when I'm going through, it doesn't suit me, I would just take it out. But when something you look at it, it's a big junk. You understand me? Because if you know it's hard, this one did a devotion on another channel. And if you know it's hard to get even 1 hour from YT, much more when you cut off something. You understand me? That's why sometimes I say I prefer stay and the YT can remove it too if they don't approve it, but they don't do none. They're not removing. So I prefer when it stay until when I finish the live, then I go back through and if I'm not really comfortable. But so far it could have remained. Because some of them just come with some talk, not relevant. But they want relevance, if you know what I mean. Can me just have 10 minutes to go, because me have something else to do. You understand me? Me can't go much over the hour. So me try to put in as much in as little time as possible. That's why I say, you have to go try keep your finger. If you understand me, you know, because everybody is doing the same thing, Everybody are maintaining, even when they say so, they're telling you so. Because I don't know if Tekla fall asleep or she's at the back of the line, back of the class. Tekla is here. Yeah, man. So, so that's so it go. I figure to I have another place. I was in a meeting 7 to 8. That's when I come on this time. I was hoping to be elsewhere and then come on afterwards. I say when I come here so first, I go to the other place. So you see the way things going now, some of us may not be no more. If you with this thing going on now, what me talking? Because it's the way it was easier then, although it was hard to achieve certain things on what we are doing here. It's harder now. A lot is going to go under because it's not the WH is much more difficult now to get. You spend an hour, at the end of the hour you may get a half hour, 15 minutes or because the interaction from persons are not really there. People are not really interacting. You understand me? And then you have to try all sort of means to get interaction going. So if you sometimes see some type of interaction, you just make it go. You understand me? Yeah, so we have about 6 minutes to go on this live now. You understand? JB, see me like how you are behaving a lady. Why you want talk? You are too quiet, man. Well, maybe she but then I was looking at something, reading an article where somebody was saying silent river run deep. They will be weeping and gnashing of the teeth. Okay. I don't know. Yes, guys, that's how it goes. People have to grab opportunity early so that when they are older, they don't just say, Auntie, you're looking well. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's how I go. Let me an energy to go. Let make a cup of coffee. No coffee, get a coffee. Everybody talk about coffee around me. I don't drink coffee, I'm gonna make a cup of chocolate. And then if me have enough energy to go do the other things I have to do. Yes, as I was looking on it today, I said people need to think. And sometimes we make decisions early in life and then we live later on to regret it. And sometimes make the decision later in life, then we say we should have done it earlier. So it's like, so it comes, so it goes. So it comes, so it goes. So if you just, man, I have to go make a cup because I was trying not to eat anything, but I'm trying to reduce them eating and drink and something at night. So I tend to just drink little water. But eat so much things today when you come on to this time. And, chatting, talking makes you coming like you're hungry. Your ear is, somebody say ear is going in. So although I'm sitting down, it still makes you feel empty. Then something I say, well, you wait until the morning. Or something if you go to bed with your stomach too full. But because the time is a little cool. Not too cool. It's not really cold. It's very cool. So that's why I don't even have no sweater. Yeah, man. But JB, you alright though. And Tetla. Yes, so decisions. You have to make decisions that are wise so that later on in life we don't regret. It's hard when you reach your older age and instead of you being happy at the choice you make when you were younger, you start to feel sad when you're older of the choices you made when you were younger. And then now that makes you go home to your Lord and make her unhappy. And sometimes some people really unhappy. They spend all their earnings on children when they were stronger, and then nothing results. Them get education or whatever benefit, and them gone and leave them alone. Don't business with them. Sometimes take away, family break up and kind of something. And sometimes they never spend good time with their families. They were all over the place sporting. It makes your throat dry and thirsty when you talk a lot. Yes, true. That's why I have water run. So they spend all them time sporting. And the mothers are at home trying to make things work. And then when they realize that they wasted their time, some waste it at the bar, clubbing or, whatever, womanizing, manizing, every sizing, then they start to regret. Nobody's there for them. Maybe wife or mother pass off, or gone, leave them, or children gone the other side of the globe, leave them. They are left alone. Then they look back and become confused. And say, if I had known, I would have kept myself just for my family. But, just like the prodigal, everything is in the Bible, just like the prodigal. The prodigal, so when he was in the pig pen, I will use that to end this life. When he was in the pig pen and he looked at how much he had to be eating, what the pigs were eating. He was the one who prepared the meal and everything for the pigs. And he looked back and remember how much his father's servants had good things to eat and was well taken care of. He said, no, I can't take it anymore. You have to go home. Can you imagine? So he decided to go home. So luckily, basically, he was still young, and the father was looking out for him. And the father, the story, went and hugged him and fixed him up, clean him up. So you can imagine the father looked at him and he saw him coming ragged and dirty. Being in a pig pen doesn't mean that he's clean. Dirty, messed up. Because when he left home, he had money, he had everything. He said, give him what is due to him. And the father gave and he went away. Then he coming back now broke and dirty and battered and bruised and everything. The money finished. When he looked back, he said, better me go home, But he had time to make that decision. But not many persons have the time to make it. Some pass on in the middle of the crisis. So guys, I'm not going to stay longer because I have to run to something else before I go to bed tonight. I don't even know what time it is. Too much something to do. I can't make them stay for the weekend. So JB, Tetla, everybody who came on, Thank you so much. Thank you so much. JB, I'm going to ask you to do something. Or maybe no. Too late. Too late. All right. So I catch you again another time, guys. See you around. Enjoy the rest of the night. All right.